All right, so the effect of mobile phone radiation on human health is a subject of recent interest and study, and this is a result of the enormous increase in mobile phone usage throughout the world. So as you can see, the amount of estimated wireless telephone subscribers grows exponentially every year, and though this graph only ends at 2001, you can only imagine how much more it grows until current day in 2014. So mobile phones use electromagnetic radiation in the microwave range, as you can see by this icon here. This term got me to do some initial research on the topic, and it turns out that the International Agency for Research on Cancer classified mobile radiation as Group 2B, meaning there could be some risk of possible cancer causing radiation. But what does this mean? Can it cause cancer or not? Well, when talking on a cell phone, a transmitter takes the sound of your voice and encodes it into a sine wave, which is brought to the antenna and is sent out of your phone. These waves are then sent to a mobile switching center or cell tower and are transmitted to the phone you were calling. The radio waves that send the signal are made up of electromagnetic radiation. As I mentioned before, all electromagnetic energy falls somewhere on the electromagnetic spectrum, which varies based on the frequency of waves. Now, there are two types of electromagnetic radiation. There's ionizing radiation, which has enough energy to actually strip atoms and molecules from tissues in the body and even alter chemical reactions. Some of these examples are gamma rays and X-rays. On the other hand, there is non-ionizing radiation, which is typically known as being safe. It can create small amounts of heat, but nothing too life-altering. Visible light and microwaves are examples of this, and cell phone radiation falls under this category. So when physically holding up a cell phone to your head, human tissue is in close proximity to absorb the non-ionizing radiation. However, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration administration's website claims that, quote, scientific evidence does not demonstrate any immediate health effects associated with the use of mobile phones. This is because the U.S. federal government places limits on how much radiation a cell phone can emit. Thus, the non-ionizing radiation in cell phones is not nearly powerful enough to do any immediate damage to human tissue. However, scientists are concerned about potential long-term effects. A few illnesses and ailments that may have links to cell phone radiation are cancer, brain tumors, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, fatigue, and headaches. There have been multiple studies done on whether or not cell phone radiation can cause these, but like any controversial topic, different studies have different results. Some studies say that they do, and some say that they don't. It's really hard to tell at this point because cell phones really haven't been around for that long. The cell phone was invented in 1973, but significant amounts of people didn't start using them until the early 90s, as you can see by this graph. And as I said before, more and more people are getting cell phones these days. But in order to test whether cell phones have long-term effects in terms of radiation, you would need to test patients who used cell phones a long time ago because it takes a while for these diseases to develop with such a small amount of radiation emitted at a time. These people would also have needed to use a cell phone daily for a significant time period each day, and there aren't many of these people who meet this specific criteria, and plus, how would we know? On top of all this, the graph here shows that there clearly isn't any relationship between the amount of wireless subscribers in blue here and brain cancer. So though there isn't any conclusive evidence that cell phones can cause cancer and other diseases, I think time and more tests into the future can find out more. As you can see here, the NIEHS states that the weight of current scientific evidence has not conclusively linked cell phone use with any adverse health problems, but more research is needed. And the CDC and FCC pretty much say the same thing. So I guess in conclusion, don't really worry about using your cell phone too much. Just try to limit time talking on it. And if you are truly worried about the amount of radiation that it emits, just use hands-free Bluetooth. Thanks.
Thanks, Austin.